What's up, guys? This is Corey, also known as QC Rideshare. Just wanted to hit you with the next video on ways that you can save money. It is possible using Uber and Lyft. And so I'm just going to go over some strategies, some things that you can do. I'll cover both the Uber and Lyft gas cards, but also just some driving techniques that you can take advantage of as well. So let's get started. Let's start with the gas card. I think that's the easiest place to start. As you may or may not know, both Uber and Lyft both have gas cards. Uber's is a percentage of the cost of gas. So if gas is at $2 a gallon, it's 1.5% of the cost of gas that you get as a savings. So you end up getting about 3 cents off per gallon. Where Lyft, if you hit a certain ride criteria, then you'll get a 5% off, 5 cents off per gallon at Shell stations using their fuel reward cards. Now, you can debate which one you think is better depending on your region. You may find that Shell gas is higher than other gas stations. Also, having access to all the gas stations versus some is a inherent advantage. I don't think about that at all. I actually have both cards, and I actually use both cards. So when I go to a Shell station, I will use the Lyft Rewards card. That gives me 5 cents off per gallon, and then I will pay for that transaction using my Uber fuel card, which will give me approximately 3 cents off per gallon. So whenever I look at gas prices, especially with Shell stations, I automatically think of 8 cents off per gallon. Now when I'm thinking about if I'm in a situation where I'm somewhere where I just need to get gas, obviously I just use the Uber card. So it really shouldn't weigh into the issue whether there is whether it's a Shell or whatever. You should just be looking at the actual cost of gas. The next thing is that I think that is important is when you do ride sharing ebbs and flows. So some days you're going to get incredible volume. Gas isn't going to be an issue because you're just going to get ride after ride after ride. Other markets are always like that. For me, I'm in the Charlotte market, and so for me, I find that that anytime there is a slow period, that's when I start making sure that I'm driving in a manner where I'm getting the best fuel mileage per gallon. That means I try to aim for my car rates for about 23. I try to get 25 to 26 miles per gallon. So I make sure that I'm not hard braking, not fast accelerating, letting off my foot from the gas sometimes and cruising, making sure I'm going to speed limit, utilizing cruise control to make sure I'm in the best gas efficiency areas, so that I can get the best mileage. The other thing is sometimes you have to know when it's time to go home. I had this situation actually occur to me last night on Sunday night. There was a concert in town, but there really wasn't a lot of volume. Saturday was really the big night. Sunday wasn't a lot of volume like it normally was, and I found myself out there driving. I was getting called 10-15 minutes away to do rides, and I have the mentality where if it makes reasonable sense, I'll go. Obviously, if it's 25 minutes away, I'm just not going to probably do it. But if it makes reasonable sense, 10-12 minutes, I'll go. I'll hate that I went. I'll be frustrated the whole time at myself. But I think that it's important that the consumer is given the right level of service and shouldn't think just like when they were using cabs, that if they lived far out, that they couldn't get a ride. So I'll go to those locations, and you never know, they may spring out to long rides. So so I was getting pulled a lot to go some long distance, and it really wasn't paying off. I mean, some of the rides I was getting pulled, I'll get a little ride, then I'll start headed back to a location where I know it'll be volume. I'll get another ride, and it just wasn't happening. And so I started looking at my mileage, and I started looking at how much I made, and I had situated myself with understanding my baseline as we go through in some of the other videos. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description. I understood that I only needed to make a certain amount of money, and Sundays I try to leave it as little as possible so that if I want to call it quits, spend time with the family, I can. And so I made my money. And so I said to myself, there's no reason to press. Go home, have a nice dinner with my wife, and tuck my son in the bed, and you take your victories. Other weeks you may just have it where it's all easy and you don't have to do anything to make the money. But I really find it important not to press when you're trying to make money, because then you end up with a night where you're driving 250, 300 miles in a night just to make $100, where you're just wasting gas at that point, and you're wasting the maintenance on your vehicle. Because you got to remember, with every mile, even though you pay for miles, you pay for gas, you're also inching closer to that next oil change, the next tire rotation, and next service that you need on your vehicle. So it's really important to look at financial things like that holistically. So understanding your baseline, so putting yourself in a position where financially you know what you need to make so you can make that money and be gone, but also understanding when you're just wasting money and it may be time to go home is important. So if you utilize those 3 tips: A, use both gas cards when you can; B, drive in a fuel efficient way; and C, know when to go home. I think that you'll save a lot of money in gas, because that's one of the major expenses that us rideshare guys have, and limiting that will help you grow and make your business better. Also, I put it on Twitter. If you have not listened to the Rideshare Guys podcast, check it out. It's a great video. It's a great podcast. He does YouTube as well, but he just recently had an interview with some Juno drivers. Hopefully Juno is in New York. Hopefully it'll be coming to some of the other markets. It's really encouraging to see some new blood in the business, and guys who are coming in to not so much take advantage of the situation, but looking to change it for the better. So go check that out. As always, I'll have links and descriptions in the description for free rides. If you're interested in driving with Uber or Lyft, some information like that. If you have any questions, definitely hit me in the comments or reach out to me on Twitter at QC Rideshare. And look at the series. I'm trying to put together a series so that you can systematically learn this business and learn how to make more money. Alrighty, until the next one.